Hello, my friends. Thank you for watching today. I'm sorry for being absent for the last couple weeks. Last week was super busy, and it was my birthday last week, which you may have seen. And I really don't have any good excuse other than it was my birthday, and I took my Friday off from my video blogs. And the week before was, of course, the 4th of July, and I was getting caught up on the 5th from work missed on the 4th. So. Anyway, it's good to be with you today to talk a little bit about a question that I received from one of the comments on my previous blogs. And today's question and topic is, how do you create balance in a home where you have different eating preferences? And this comes from Jackie. So thank you, Jackie, for the question. This is a really hard topic, and it's something that I spend a lot of time working on with many clients, because unfortunately, when it comes to making changes of any kind in your household with your eating or lifestyle, it can be really challenging if you don't have that same support and that same goal coming from your spouse or your family or whoever you're sharing your space with. And so it's a particularly sensitive topic for a lot of people. Specifically for me, I'm really blessed because I do have a very supportive husband. Paul's been totally game with pretty much every change that I've been making. That being said, it doesn't mean it's been easy on us and him, but he's really supportive, and so I'm pretty lucky in that sense. He's been, since I transitioned 3 years ago, I started eating healthier, and he was game with my new experiments in the kitchen. He lost weight just kind of because he's a man, and he just lost weight when I was cooking it better. And so that was good for him. And he really didn't complain too much. He would sometimes go out and buy junk food that I didn't want to have in the house anymore, or make brownies or something, but he wasn't too much of a saboteur, and I really appreciated that. And then when I changed to vegetarian diet almost 2 years ago, he was supportive in that, but and our agreement at that point was that he could make meat if he wanted it. I just wasn't going to be cooking it anymore for the two of us, and I've never been keen on the whole idea that whoever's the cook makes separate specialty meals for everyone in the family. That doesn't seem to work out very well, especially for the cook. And so that just wasn't something that was going to be an option. And Paul was okay with that. And then when I made the change to a vegan diet and lifestyle, he also was very supportive, and he kind of said, I kind of anticipated that this is where we were headed, and I support you 100%. So I'm on the lucky side of that. I understand that a lot of people are not, and they really struggle and can create a lot of tension and fights even in a relationship when one person is ready to make a change of any kind and the other person is not on board. So I just want to talk a little bit more in depth about kind of how to deal with that. So the first situation is, okay, it's just a husband, wife, or partners, or whatever, just two people, no kids, and one person's making a change, the other person isn't. Whether that change is to plant-based or whether it's just to healthier eating, if the other person isn't really on board, my only suggestion is to be really honest and open with each other, and to try and keep communication flowing between the two of you. So if there's one person that is generally the cook, for me, that in my relationship, that's me. I'm the cook 100% of the time. You kind of have to lay the ground rules and say, this is what I'm doing. I really want you to be on board, and if you're not willing to do that, I would suggest considering getting more comfortable in the kitchen, and because I think it's unreasonable for, like I said before, to be making multiple meals for picky eaters in the family. And honestly, two adults, two grown-ups, they can pretty much fend for themselves. So Paul was understanding with that, and I think for the most part, husbands need to be pretty understanding with that too. Or they can make their own food. or wives or whatever, you know what I mean. Um, you can also come to a compromise. So if that isn't kind of going to work for you, then you could work on compromising and saying, okay, well, this is how I'm going to cook, 6 out of 7 days out of the week, and then on the 6th day, or maybe it's 5 out of 7, whatever, a couple days a week, you can cook what you want for the both of us, or for yourself, or however you want to make that happen. I listened to a great podcast by Colleen Patrick Gaudreau of CompassionateCooks.com, and she talks about how to keep a vegan home, especially if your partner isn't vegan, and so whether you're vegan or not, she offers some good tips on what to do in that situation when you and your partner have different views about what you should be eating and what kind of food you want to have in the house on a regular basis. Now, when it comes to kids, with my clients, I really suggest that they try and introduce familiar types of foods or new foods in familiar ways to kids, because a lot of times kids are going to put up a stink over it. And honestly, the whole just letting the kids fend for themselves, or making them corn dogs and frozen meals or SpaghettiOs or whatever it is, it doesn't really support if you're making healthy changes as a family. There's a reason behind that. And so it tends to be kind of contradictory if you're going to just piecemeal all kinds of junk food across the table, and then you yourself have this nice little healthy meal. And so it is a transition for the family. And again, communication is key there, to be able to talk to your kids, to be able to talk to your spouse and say, this is an important thing. It's important for me, and it's also important for you. I understand if you're not interested in doing it outside of our dinner time, but this is what dinner time needs to look like, from now on. And I really don't think that there's anything wrong with being assertive and confident in explaining the terms. I mean, if your mom, or if you're, cook, or whatever your role is in your home, you pretty much call the shots for your children, for what goes on the table. And there's no sense in abusing yourself and expecting you to do, to be exactly what other people want you to be. That it's not really serving you or your family in a healthful way. It just adds more stress. It adds unhealth, just disease really to the family. And so I understand that it's really challenging, and I can't really. I mean, each situation is completely unique. So there's not one concrete answer that's going to work for everyone across the board. And I know that I'm very lucky to be in the situation that I am, with a very understanding husband. And when it comes to us having a family, we will make we'll raise our children the way that in an eating style that will be their normal, and so there hopefully we'll have fewer fights, but there will be fights, I'm sure, down the line. But anyway, I think that it's a problem, it's a challenge that a lot of people face, and it's something that you need to know you're not alone in, and it doesn't make things impossible. You can still be and live healthfully, or eat a certain way, and maybe not have your family on board 100%, but if they could be on board for dinner and basically concede and compromise that, okay, dinner's going to look like this the majority of the time, and I need you to just be okay with that, otherwise you're going to have to fend for yourself outside the home, which if you have teenage children, then I guess that's what they're going to do. But you can only control what you can do and what you can offer on the plate, and as long as you continue to offer multiple meals for multiple family members, that's going to be the standard, and that's what you're going to be stuck doing forever until they move out, right? And I don't know about you, but that's not something that I imagine would be fun or I want to do ever. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I hope that it was helpful, and please let me know in the comments what you would like to have me discuss in either next week or a couple weeks from now. I'll kind of consider each of your comments and see what one sounds most interesting to me, or that I have some thoughts on. So anyway, I would love to hear your comments below. Please do comment, and make sure to check back next Friday. So let me know if you have questions about health coaching, or if you'd like to get together to talk at all. If you are having these problems in your family or with your husband or wife, I'd love to talk with you, and maybe we can strategize how to work with this going forward. So have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.